All right, good morning, everybody. We are live. This is Activate Your Power Now. This is the Johnson County chapter. And if this is your first time with us online or here, my name is Lauren Dreyer, and I get the honor of introducing all of our wonderful speakers in the lineup today. Today we are talking about confidence, true confidence, in fact. So far throughout this series, we've heard a lot of different stories from all different sorts of walks of life, backgrounds, and I think just about anything you could have. And today, we're going to bring you some more. We've got a whole bunch of different experiences, and like we always do, we're going to go deep. We're going to dive, and we're going to give you everything we've got today, as usual, because that is what we are all about. Each speaker has shared what each topic has meant for them, and today will be absolutely no different. The theme that we're going to share today, as you know, is confidence. And confidence obviously means something different for each person. We've all had different experiences, whether you feel like you've had none or you've never had a problem, but where do you channel the confidence? How do you bring it out? How do you get it into what you need it to be who the heck you are, to be the true you? So because it looks different for each individual, we're going to jump right in and get to the meat. We're going to get to the good stuff. Our first speaker is a woman who has been channeling confidence her entire life and has learned to use it for the greater good. She says that our confidence comes when we can say yes to our divine purpose. And she is also the co-creator of this beautiful movement, Activate Your Power Now. Please welcome Isabel Luz. Wow.
Well, good morning, and thank you all for being here in person and online. I say this every time we meet, and I'm on stage and I have the opportunity to say it because I mean it. I thank you for being here today to serve, because even if you're here receiving, you're serving, because we all know that we are impacting the world every day that we step out there. It's about being intentional on how you are impacting. Is it on purpose or not? We all had an opportunity to be anywhere else today, but we said yes to being activated. So again, I thank you. I'm Isabel Luz Camacho Black, or Izzy, the intentional healer. And I like to say that I'm an intentional healer because I have committed to do life on purpose, with purpose. By that, I've gone into a healing journey of myself. That allows me to show up in the world everywhere I go, on purpose, with purpose, hoping to inspire others to do better by doing better. And by me intentionally being healed and showing up in life on purpose, it allows space for other people to step into their truth of their healing journey. There's someone at the door telling them to come on in. You can come in and enjoy.
Thank you.
Yes. So by making space for other people to be authentically them, you will give them the space to dive into their own journey of healing. So that makes you an intentional healer. I invite you all to join me on this journey. As Lauren said, I have always been blessed with confidence in my life. I didn't understand that. I didn't know that that was true, my truth, until my intentional living in 2017. But looking back, I do realize that I did always have confidence. I was always willing to stand firmly on my 2 feet with what I believed in, regardless if everyone else in the room didn't understand. Even when I was turned away from, neglected, whatever the feelings were that I was feeling when someone was offended by me, by my presence, or by who I was. And if they chose to leave my life because they didn't know how to be in my space respectfully, and I demanded respect because I knew that I gave it. But if they left my life, that would always put a kink in my confidence. I would wonder where I could do better. Where did I do wrong? If standing in my truth is a gift for me, why am I punished over and over for it? Why, if I go and be a good person and we get what we give, why am I not receiving that in return? I didn't have an understanding of truth. What I've learned about true confidence, and true confidence being the reason you exist. So when I take it deep in that way and think, the reason for my existence, why I breathe every day, it has to be way bigger than me, my traumas, my feelings. There has to be something bigger. So I had to learn how to take what is, right? Take what is right now, today, and learning to accept that truth. And practicing not calling things right or wrong. Because with being wrong comes shame. Whether you're the one feeling wrong or you're the one saying something or somebody is wrong. It's attaching shame on either side. There's shame there, is what I'm saying. And you can't hold your head up high and be shameful at the same time. So you have to make a choice. And that's where I say, if you're going to believe that your existence is for something big and grand, then stand firm in the idea that you're an important role in that big, grander picture. Exactly who you are and how you are. Even if life is dishing dirt, it's not about recreating who you are because you want to fit in. It's about taking the truth today and using it as your power. Use it as your strength to take the next best step in who you want to be, because that's where the power lies. It's not remembering who you used to be, but it's declaring who you want to be from this point moving forward. When you make a commitment like that, you have to be willing to try something new. And before you can try something new, you got to be willing to listen new. Because, I was just thinking when I was driving here, I was listening to a song, and I actually have a it's not on my YouTube yet. It's on my Facebook video where I was dancing and just having fun with the music, with the song Young Turks from Rod Stewart. And I just think about when I listen to that song, how it just makes me feel so free in my truth with the story that he tells. And I was going to suggest for people to, I thought about mentioning it on here today, and then my mom popped in my head, where she immediately, if I mention Rod Stewart, will say, "Oh, yuck, he's gross." Somewhere along the way, she has an attachment with that song. We didn't get into that. But it reminded me when I was driving here about mentioning this, it reminded me how most of us are not willing to listen newly. We heard the name Rod Stewart. Maybe he was prime right in her day. He was on the tabloids, so all his dirt was being dished. So people made a mental opinion about him without ever knowing him. So I was like, no, I'm not going to mention it, because there's probably a lot of other people like my mom out there that immediately when I say Rod Stewart, they're going to say, oh, yeah. And anything I say after that is not even going to matter. But I'm being called to share it, obviously. So I want everybody to go to my Facebook and check out where this song, and I was just having fun, but listen to the words. Listen to the words. Because it's about standing in your truth and not just celebrating, right? They stood in their truth. In the song, it's about a young boy and a young girl who loved each other, who cared. They were 17 years old, and their parents weren't approving of their relationship, so they ran away together. They didn't know where they were headed, but they just risked it all and they left. Well, it tells a little bit of the story of in between. But at the end of the song, what's so liberating is that he says he wrote a letter back home to Patty's parents, explaining why they did what they did. It was never to be disrespectful. It was never, but what's the point of talking when nobody's listening? He said, so we just both ran away together. But the letter was to let them know that they just gave birth to a baby boy. And they wanted him to know he was healthy and he was doing good. And they were doing good. So, again, to me, confidence is your expression of what you're working with. So it's taking that truth of what you're working with today, owning it, embracing it, loving it, and then sharing it with the world unapologetically. And I promise you, you will find your tribe. You will find your people. They're right here looking at me. You'll find your people who believe in you. And beyond believe in you, they're going to see things you weren't even able to see. But to sustain, right? You reach that phase of figuring it out. And I think that's great. Let's go on the journey of figuring it out. But guys, once you figure it out, it's not yours to keep. It is not yours to keep. It is yours to give away. So activate your power now. We're a tribe of people who believe in that truth. We show up every month to serve. But we know that we're gaining so much in the process. And it's with that true confidence that I have gained with Activate Your Power Now and intentional living that has allowed me to keep my head high and feel more confident than I've ever felt in my life. So I invite you all to join us on this journey of true confidence. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Izzy. That was amazing as usual. And I want you to hear, and I want you to think, what was a recurring theme of what she said? Intention. And it takes time. Because if you're anything like me, sometimes you get impatient trying to do the things that you want to do. And we get to a point in life where we're like, I should be who the heck I should be now. What the heck is taking so long? And it doesn't work like that. It takes time to go through life. It's a journey, right? We hear that a lot lately. And it takes that intentionality. And when you can learn to be intentional and do what you do on purpose, life will still happen. But you can know that you're doing everything you can to navigate through that life, because it will never stop happening. And why would it? Because the things that come at us are the things that mold us. And do they test us? Yeah. But when you know that you can get through it, when you know that you can be intentional in what you're doing, everything else will fall into place. And I think it's really, really special that she said she didn't understand how to be intentional at some point with her confidence. And I think that, at least it's been a recurring theme for me. I've felt very misunderstood for a long time, and I know a lot of other people who have felt very misunderstood, be it from other people, or if we just didn't understand ourselves, because I'm still working on that. I didn't understand myself, who I was supposed to be, what I was supposed to do until a couple of years ago. And that leads perfectly into who we've got next for you, because it takes time. And please don't think that you have to have life all figured out. You have to come out swinging with all of your confidence, because you got to build it up. You got to figure out what it looks like for you and where you need to go with it, because we're all different. We all have to do it in different ways, right? And that was very true as far as figuring it out for our next speaker. He is someone who is absolutely unapologetic about who he is, but it took him some time to be that way. And he's not alone in that. He specializes in talking about confidence because he didn't always have it. It's a recurring theme. And let me tell you, he is extremely talented in explaining things in a way that shift the way you think, and keep your mind open, because I can guarantee you there's going to be some more light bulb moments in here. Please, please welcome to the stage, Tokyo.
Yeah. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Thank you for being here. You know, it's true what she said. I mean, I had to really humble myself and ask, what right do I have to stand on this stage? Make an adjustment. What right do I have to stand on the stage and talk about confidence? And it's not confidence. There's a reason they said true confidence. See, because as you all know, mainstream society is overwhelming with rampant confidence. But what I have found for myself is that rampant confidence is only a surface narrative that is acted out in order to hopefully persuade one or to convince another that they are all that in a bag of chips. Let me explain. I tried my best to be confident, to be cool, to be charismatic. All these C's, because that's the kind of student I've always been. A student that was always just mediocre. C's. Now, being mediocre isn't a bad thing. But when you're trying to hide your mediocrity, I made that up. Now we have a problem. Because not providing your truth, as you've heard, ends up going against you because now you're having to work twice as hard to present yourself in a format that is not true, inauthentic. Now, true confidence. I'm going to break this down in two ways. I like breakdowns. They're fun. True confidence can only be true when one has unlocked the ability of authenticity. Because truth is from experience of the beholder. Which is to say, if you are not living, how can you speak truth? If you're not doing, if you are not out there being active in the life that you've been gifted, how can you have the ability to speak on something you have not yet seen or done or heard? It is only then theory. So then when you speak on it, are you not BSing everybody in the room? When you pontificate on that which is you have no experience in, do you have the authority? True confidence, when coupled with authenticity, authority, allows you all to then begin to really show up different in a very bright way. That kind of confidence, powerful. Because now, when you speak, I don't know who I stole this from, but when you speak, there's normally a thud, falls on deaf ears, and then there's a bing that creates silence after because everybody's attention is focused. If you want that kind of effect on your friends, neighbors, family, you have to be able to speak with certainty, confidence coming from authenticity and authority. How do we build authority? We build authority by being the expert in that situation. What is that situation? Your life. Well, how do I become an expert in my life? By living it. But I'm living it. I'm here. No, you're not. Your mask is here. Your mask is here. How many of you know somebody, because I ain't going to call anybody out, right? How many of you know somebody that, or a family member actually, or a PTA person that wears a mask to protect their social circle in order to, get this, in order to gain the approval of those who will not be there for them when their dad dies? When the car breaks down at 1 o'clock in the morning. We have these masks in order to gain the approval of others, to live a lifestyle. I'm speaking from experience. I went to the clubs. I wore the things. I said the things. I studied pickup artistry for 2 years in order to look cool amongst a group of people who didn't have my best interest at heart. Is that confidence? Oh, look at this girl I have. No, because I am operating out of a falsehood, which does what? Takes away your authenticity. Now, and authority, so sorry. So by having authority in your life, it's only by living your life authentically. Well, how do I live my life authentically? Here's part 2 of the breakdown. You can only have true confidence by living your life authentically. You can only live authentically by being able to go within yourself. It's called introspection. It is not fun. An introspective journey is something that every single human being should take if they are desperate for transformation. Because everything in the universe, everything in nature shows us that the growth and transformational process happens from a cellular level. There's intelligence in our cellology. I made that up. And with that, each little guy down here all know what to do when I get a splinter. I don't have to think about, oh shoot, I need to close that hole up. It does it on its own. That's intelligence. But if we don't have the intelligence of self, recognizing ego from higher self, or Holy Spirit, if you're Christian, whatever you believe in, whatever. Right? If we don't have the intelligence to recognize the difference, cartoons depicted as the devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other. We have opportunities throughout our lives to develop that relationship, to go deep within ourselves. We are faced with situations within ourselves to ask, why did I do that? Why did I forget my keys again? Why did I lock my keys in the car? Why did I do this? Why is it so hard for me to wake up at 4 a.m. and go to the gym? Why do I fight myself? Why am I craving ice cream for dinner when I know it's not going to get me my summer body? By being authentic, we can have these conversations with ourselves. And when we have these conversations with ourselves, I can connect with my brother and say, you know, James, I really like your vascularity. I've been struggling. How do you do it? And be able to share in my actual living experience without fear of judgment to then gain insight that I can take with me to move forward in my life. Because he, living authentically, has been able to live his life in a way that's created a result that I'm trying to create for myself, which makes him the authority from his authenticity. But if you're unwilling to give yourself a chance, you will never gain authority over yourself. If you never gain authority over yourself by giving yourself a chance, you will never be able to live life with true confidence. You will always be hiding yourself from everyone else, and your true self will always be hiding from you. So my friends, I don't want anybody to suffer the way I did pre-COVID. I don't want anybody to live a life where they're unable to feel the awesomeness of true connection by being your authentic self and bonding with people. By the way, here's a bonus. Authenticity acts as a natural filtration for your social circles. As you give yourself a chance, you will notice the universe work in your favor, Holy Spirit or God. And when they do work in your favor, you, like a snake sheds its skin, will begin to shed people that are not in the best interest for you. I know they're attractive. Yes, I know they got a cool car. Yes, I know they shoot really good baskets in the gym. And you want them on your basketball team or whatever the case may be. But guess what? At the end of the day, it is not a surface life we live. It is a multi-dimensional, multifaceted life. And life has so much more to offer than just a surface. So if you want to stop dwelling on the surface of yourself, on the surface of life, and get all that the universe has for you, my friends, it is time for you to go on a path of introspection and gain your true confidence. Thank you.
Yes. I got everything right here.
And brought it, he did.
Yes, he did.
Anybody else agree? Yeah? Brought it, he did. So a couple of the things that stood out to me from that is truth is from experience, which again, takes time. It takes time. It doesn't come just from the get-go, right? It takes time to develop that because we have to experience things. We have to, unfortunately, experience that pain and all that difficulty in order to be that expert, to go through that muck, to gain that confidence to say, no, I got this, and to figure out who the heck we are, because it's what we learn from with getting those scars and those wounds as to how we move forward. But we do have to, as he said, we've got to dig deep. We have to go within ourselves. And that means not who everybody else wants you to be. It means going within ourselves to who we are as an individual. I keep saying this with each one of these. It is about us as an individual. And I see so many people who struggle with that because it's, who does the world want me to be? Who does all these other people around me want me to be? No, you're not them. They're not you. That's not how this works, right? But for me, the thing that he said that was what we all need to go with, and honestly, super simple. Give yourself a chance, because I don't think anybody does. We get so caught up in the everyday grind of here's what I want to do, here's who I want to be, here's who I'm supposed to be, whatever that looks like for you. We don't give ourselves a chance. We don't give ourselves a chance to be who we're supposed to be for us, for whether it's for you, universe, God, spirit, whatever that looks like. And if we don't give ourselves a chance, how do we get there? How do we get and figure out who that person is? Now, I will tell you, for me, kind of like Tokyo, and I'm sure everybody else, confidence didn't come straight off the bat. In fact, it took a real long time. And Tokyo does break down in steps and stages. I'm going to kind of do the same thing of how it happened for me, because I tried to force it. Because I've always been a go with the flow person, and I don't know if that's because I just didn't know, if I didn't know who I was supposed to be, what I wanted. I don't know if that was just because I was trying to figure that out. But either way, I went with the flow, and all of those things gently applied pressure. And then it was up to me to say, I'm going to look into this. I'm going to figure it out. And it took me longer than I care to admit. Years, it took decades, let's be honest, of what the heck do I want? Who the heck am I? Because I wanted to be friends with all the people. And that's not a bad thing, guys, but that meant, oh, I like this. Oh, I don't like this. I'm going to go over here and do this. But I didn't give myself any room to say, here's who I am. And it showed, because there was always this inner conflict of something is not there. And I got to the point where I said, okay, I don't know who that person is. What's this thing going on in my head as to why I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know who I am. And so I'm going to give you a quick background to kind of fill in how it happened for me. When I was born, I had birthmarks covering, what side is this? Left side of my face. And they were dark, and they thought that they were going to be cancerous, so they had them taken off. This started when I was born, went to when I was about 7 years old. From the time I was 7 to I'm going to say mid-20s, that long, it was always just the internal critic coming at me of, I wasn't saying I was ugly because I had scars and I thought I looked different. It wasn't that. It was the fact that I just felt different. Whether anybody outside was telling me or not, I felt different. And that translated into a whole lot of different things of I can't, I shouldn't, I don't know how, I'm not good enough, fill in the blank. All of it. And that's where it started. Because anybody who grew up with me would tell you that I was a happy-go-lucky kid. My mom used to call me sunshine. And whether I acted like that or not, it's not how I felt. Which was really, really hard terms to come to later in life. Well, then when I got to that mid-20s mark, I had that thing where I'm sitting there thinking, what the heck is wrong with me? I struggled through interviews. I struggled through life. I struggled through who I was as a person because something didn't feel right. And I'm thinking, God, I'm 20 whatever. I should have this figured out by now. But it was that internal critic. I thought, I see all these people who know who they are, know what's going on, know what they want to do, and I didn't. I sat at a job thinking, this isn't it. This isn't what I went to school for, honestly. It's not doing anything for me. Why am I struggling? Why am I in such a conflict? And I can guarantee you I am not the only one that sits there feeling like there's a war going on inside my head, feeling like this is not what I'm here for. This is not where I'm supposed to be. I'm sitting here going through life, dropping everything I can to help everybody else. But where's that getting me? And it was about that time where I sat there and I said, literally, I was sitting at my desk one day thinking this. I thought, done. I'm done people pleasing. I'm done sitting here thinking, why can I not move forward? I'm done. And at that point, again, mid to late 20s is where I'm at. I started that. But that was just the beginning. That was when I just very first started digging internally, looking inside who I was, doing that inner reflection to say, okay, I'm done being who everybody else needs me to be. Who do I need me to be? Because I'm not here for nothing. I didn't go through all the muck of those past years for absolutely nothing. So who do I need to be for me? And there was all these things in me that I'm thinking, okay, all these things make me different, and I used to use that as a weakness. And instead, I started digging in. I started digging up all of the muck because that's what I had to do. Was it painful? Extremely, extremely painful. But because I grew through that pain, because I went through the experience, because I did all of those things, you know what it did? It sprung me to my next level. The difficulty, the growth, the challenges that I was like, no, I'm going to get through this. Because prior to that, I didn't trust myself to do anything. I thought, I don't know how to do this. I don't know if I'm going to do it right. And then I said, I don't care. I'm going to do it anyway. And if I don't do it right, fine. The right way will come to me. And so I said, I don't care. I'm going to start doing it. And you know what happened? I figured it out. I built the trust within me. Nobody else, didn't matter if anybody else trusted if I could do it, because I had to prove it to myself. And sometimes we have to prove it to ourselves that we can do it, because that's where it starts. We have to dig within us to be able to dig up that confidence, because not everybody is always going to give us the words of affirmation, the, hey, Lauren, you're doing good. Way to go. Keep going. But as you build up that confidence from taking consistent action, the trust will come from the consistent action, and naturally, confidence will come. Naturally, you will say, oh no, I got this, because I've already proven that I could do it. What it's going to look like? Yeah, I don't know about that. But as I started to build that confidence, to move along the path that I knew I wanted to go on, I figured out that I was listening to my gut. And when everybody else was like, I don't like what you're doing, you're spending too much time doing this, where's your credibility? You don't have a degree in this. You haven't been doing this for very long, or this is nobody else's business. Well, you know what? You know what I'm sharing? I'm sharing me. It is up to me who I make my business. Did I say that right? Anyway, it is up to me who I share all of my muck with. And I didn't go through all of that previous muck, the crap, to not share it. I didn't go through all of that just so I could do the same thing that everybody else was doing, because that's not who I am here to be. I'm here to be me. I'm here to share what I need to share. And for me, that is my pain, my trauma, my everyday crap. It's not all crap, and it's been a lot better since I owned it, since I dug it out, and since I wrapped my head around what it meant and how I could use it for good instead of using it as an excuse to keep me held back. I listened to my gut and said, where do I need to go with this? What does this look like for me? And how do I need to use it? When you have the guts to do that, when you have the confidence, you develop that confidence from wherever you came from to say, here's who I am. Like it or not, whoever likes it will be drawn to me, and whoever is not, doesn't, that's fine. Because when you develop the confidence of who you are as you, as an individual, as a person who was created like nobody else, the people who are your tribe, the people who you are meant to be around, they'll naturally be drawn to you. And all of a sudden, you have all these people actually cheering you on, actually saying, how can I help? Instead of the other side of, well, not helping at all. Use all of those people, all those situations as a springboard, as a way to say, you know what? Thank you for being that person to be the difficulty, because I needed you to be able to jump off you and to that next big stage. I needed you. We've got to have the good with the bad. That's life. But change your perspective of those people are setting the stage to help you build that confidence, to help mold you, and to help get you to where you need to go next.
Twist.
And with that,
Oh, great.
this next speaker is gonna bring you to a rocking close today. She says, if you want to build confidence, it'll take time. Yeah, it's a recurring theme. It'll take time. It's having the faith and trusting yourself and your abilities. Yeah, absolutely. And then put into practice what you want to develop. If that's not hitting you at home, wherever that is for you, I don't know what will. Please welcome to the stage Miss Sasha Serene. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, Sasha Serene.
Right here. Right there. All right. I want everybody to stand up, including you, Mom. My mom is here. That is my mama. And I want everyone to take a deep breath. Close your eyes, stand tall, elongate your spine like a string is pulling you up into the sky. And let out that deep breath. Just give it a voice. Oh, come on, you can do better than that. Deep breath. And let it out. There you go. Good job. I want you to open your eyes. Put your hands on your hips. Just stand here for a minute. Just stand there. What this is doing, it's giving you the ability to stand tall, stand confident, neurologically, helping out your brain to just give you that confidence. Every morning when you get up, just stand in the mirror and look at yourself. Give yourself a mantra. I trust myself. I have faith in myself. I am confident. Look at you, you sexy thing. All right? Just look at yourself in the mirror and just observe everything that's happening. So far, you're at 35 seconds. How are you feeling? Feeling a little awkward, maybe? No? Yeah? Who's feeling awkward? No? Cool.
A little bit.
A little
A
bit?
little bit.
Okay. All right. That's good. We got some wiggles going on. Yeah. Shake it out. Yeah. Give yourself a little dance. Mom just is wiggling. Yeah. We got a smooth operator over here. Yeah. There you go. Sweet. We're at a minute. We're doing this for 2 minutes, guys. So what's something you can tell yourself in the mirror when you wake up and you look at yourself in the mirror? Throw them out.
I love you.
I love you.
I'm powerful.
I'm powerful.
I can
Thank
do
you.
this.
Thank you. I can do this.
I'm gonna be late to work.
No, that's powerful. No, that's great because the few minutes that we give ourselves in the morning is what sets the intention for the whole day, right? So if we're going to be, oh, I'm running late, in that anxious mood and that running mood, that's going to be our day, right? If we stand and say, hey, thanks, I'm here. Hey, thanks, you guys are doing great. 15 more seconds. Hey, I love you. I want to see you grow. I have faith in you. I trust you. That's what we're going to end up doing.
Can I say one thing?
Absolutely.
For the last few weeks, I've been seeing these dry trees all over. But
Mhm.
now I see them blooming. And I see them blooming as I go to my balcony and I sit down. I see this dry, I used to see this dry tree, like too dry that it was gonna fall. It looked like it, but lately it's been blooming. I see this little
Your
things.
perspective has been
And
changing.
I see
Yeah,
it, and
that's
I
great.
see myself, and I say, God, please help me to bloom like this beautiful tree. I don't want to be stand tall and be here. Yes,
Good
yes,
job.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
your
That's
perspective
one of
is
the things
changing.
I wanted to share.
There
I
you
know
go.
I've never done this in my life. Never. This is the first time because of my daughter. She's been very lately. She's got wiser.
Yeah.
Good job, guys. Mom, thank you.
All the time.
We're going to go ahead and have a seat.
When did you get wiser than I
That's
And I'm
you.
proud of you.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
Yes, we
Thank
did. And thank you for your share. I appreciate you.
Well, I have so many things to share about you. Don't make me start.
Me and you.
All right. True confidence is not being derailed by, just having somebody maybe take over the stage, and that's okay, right? Because you had the confidence within yourself to speak up for yourself. And having true confidence as well is someone to be able to have that knowing that, hey, I don't know it all. I'm going to learn from someone. Your perspective changed, right? There's somebody that's probably hearing you right now that has been seeing dark, gloomy trees everywhere, and that said, you know what? I'm going to try and see all the good green out there now. And because of that, you might change somebody else's world. There is a quote from Nelson Mandela. Live life as though nobody is watching, and express yourself as though everyone is listening. You mentioned that, I think Izzy mentioned, I was speaking when nobody was listening, like what's the point, right? Well, the point would be is because somebody's going to hear it, right? Somebody's going to end up switching their perspective because of that one person. No one has your same eyes. You can go down Shawnee Mission Parkway where we are, and no one's going to see the same thing as you did. So with confidence, you have already won. When you have trust in yourself and you have faith in yourself, you have already won. If you don't have any trust or faith in yourself, you've immediately lost. If you came into this room thinking, I'm going to sound shitty, you're going to sound shitty. Mm-hmm. If you come into this room saying, you know what, I'm going to give it my best, people are going to see that. And I'll give you a little story. Tomorrow I have a photo shoot in front of a camera. I dread cameras. Consciousness is so real and so powerful and so alive that it decided to put me in front of a goddamn camera. So hi guys, I'm here. That's confidence, right? Having true confidence. Because I have face planted so many times in front of a camera. Because I have submitted auditions so many times, wondering if I'm going to get it. And that shows through the camera. Mm-hmm. But then there's imposter syndrome. Anybody have imposter syndrome? I've done it before. Yes. That ends up leading you down a slippery slope. Mm-hmm. That ends up masking you even more because you're not being true to yourself. So how do you expect somebody to believe in you when you're not believing in yourself? Then you try to put on another mask and another mask and another mask. And the next thing you know, you don't even know who you are. Mm-hmm. Then you have to sit with yourself and wonder, who am I? Go through that introspection. Bring down those masks. That's a do not disturb alarm. I'm clearly disturbed now. Self-confidence comes from being able to go with the flow, being agile. Being agile. Just go with it. Make fun of yourself. Humor. And not make fun of yourself to also mask it, right? But humor yourself. Life isn't meant to be so serious. Life is meant to be fun and playful with discernment and balance. So a little self-disclosure on self-confidence. I had the worst self-confidence growing up. Kept my head down. I didn't know how to speak up for myself. Anyone who would maybe address me, it's like, speak up. Well, I didn't know how. I felt incompetent. I felt unloved. I felt inadequate. I felt like I wasn't good enough. Who do you think you are? And then now that I've been hosting meditations or even speaking, it's like, it's already done. Who the hell am I to be doing that? But no one has my eyes. No one has my perspective. No one has lived my story. No one has lived your story. No one has walked your shoes. And I was afraid of making mistakes. Trying to be perfect due to society. Trying to be a person that I wasn't. Trying to maintain an image because others wanted me to behave in a certain way. Mm-hmm. And I say others, I say parents, I say aunts and uncles, I say siblings, I say teachers, I say friends, I say all of society that wants you to behave in a certain way. So you start masking yourself, especially now on social media. The double taps, the likes, the all in between, you validate yourself based off of what social media is telling you. I haven't been on social media for a few months, sure, a little bit here and there, but I said the hell with it for the past 5 months. I introspected, I stood with myself so that I can come out as myself and be able to show you who the hell I am. Whether you like me, cool. You don't like me, cool. That's true confidence. True confidence is you're going to be okay whether somebody likes you or not. In the camera as well. You're going to be okay if somebody likes you or not. Understanding self-confidence, you mentioned the word having the guts. And there's a balance, and I challenge that.
Yep.
Having the guts to do something, right? But not masking yourself, being all gutsy because you want people to think that you're confident. Where is that fine line?
Mm-hmm.
It's not being fearless. It's not being
Mhm.
bold, because being bold is a style. How are you going to carry yourself? Are you going to carry yourself like a fairy? Heck yeah, everyone's going to think you're a fairy. Cool. But that's because that's your true nature. You want to carry yourself as the fashionable TC. You know, people will see him. He's a fashion guy. You know, whatever it is you want, that's your style. And that's that true confidence. Develop that. Look at, see in the mirror who you are. Take down all those masks. When we do the imposter syndrome, we avoid everything. True confidence is also having a growth mindset. Believe you can grow and you will. Look at a baby. A baby tries to eat, gets it on its hair, gets it in its eye, gets it on its feet, and then finally it makes it into its mouth, right? You don't go telling a baby, no, you can't eat ever again. Like, well then, you know, the baby's not gonna grow, right? Tying shoes. You don't tell the baby or the kid that they're not going to be able to tie their shoes ever again because they failed at one time. So have that curiosity within yourself. You said knowing and believing that you can, you will, and you'll get to do it. So an exercise again, because I truly believe that when someone speaks a little bit too much, kind of like start dozing off, right? You're like, okay, what's going on now, right? So keeping you active. So I want you to close your eyes and I want you to think about what you really want, regardless of society, regardless of what your parents want, regardless of what your kids want for you, regardless of who your neighbor wants. And then think about the shoulds. What should you be doing? Now imagine those two things put together. Is that what you want playing out in your life? If the answer is yes, keep going, implement it. What does a normal Wednesday look like for you in a few months? Is that what you still want? Or is it starting to change? Is there an opportunity for growth in there? Now, if it's not what you want, realize that's what's working for you right now may not work for you later on. Now, I want you to go ahead and open your eyes and shoot out anything that came up for you. Maybe something you don't want to be doing anymore, something you want to implement.
Conflict.
Conflict. Where did you find conflict?
between what I should be doing and where I want to go.
Okay.
A couple of things that I need to mesh together and heal.
Yeah, there's a lot of emotion with that conflict coming up for you, that on the things that you should be doing and the things that you want to do, that you're kind of holding yourself back on. Yeah. And it hurts to see that for yourself. Yeah. Would you like to share a little bit more? It's okay if you don't want to.
Probably not the space to do it right now.
Not the space to do it right now. It's all right. Okay, cool. Thanks for sharing and for showing your vulnerability, that you know you want to change something and that moved you. And that's what happens, guys. When we're moved internally, that's when we want to start making the shift. That's when we want to build that confidence within ourselves to be able to build a life that we want, however we want to live it. It doesn't have to be an influencer. It doesn't have to be in front of the camera. It doesn't have to be something on social media. You can live your quiet little life in the neck of the woods with trees, and as long as you're happy and that's all you want in life and you're confident about it, then do that. Then do that. It's what you want. For example, for me, in fitness, at my heaviest, I was 180. Now you can imagine me, little Oompa Loompa, barely 5 feet, we were walking around, just being, 180, 85 pounds. I was like, oh, God damn. I didn't know how to work a machine at all. Oh my God, when I stepped into the gym, I was like, what am I doing here? We got buff guys, we got slender women, we got people that are just fit, we got the booties going on. I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing. But it takes that first step. It takes the first courage and just internalness that that's what I wanted. And so that's what I'm going for. That's what happens when we're building on goals. So the first time I spoke on love, 2-3 years ago for the Lion team, I was so nervous. I didn't even know how to speak. And I spoke on love just 2-3 days ago. What was it, Wednesday? Wednesday. And oh my God, I surprised myself. I thought I only had like 7 minutes of content. I ended up speaking for like 18 minutes. And I was like, holy crap, where did this come from? But it comes from source. It comes from internalness. It comes from moving your own self. It comes from introspection. It comes from knowing who you are and sitting with yourself in silence and writing it all down. What don't you like about yourself? What you like about yourself? And if there are things you don't like about yourself, what can you do to make it better? Can you? Will you? Do you have the willingness to? Because if you don't, then sit around, watch Netflix, and just sit on the couch and do nothing. And sit there and wither away. Just sit. I mean, we're already withering away, so how do you want to wither away in life? Right? We're already deteriorating as human beings in this meat soup that we have going on, trouncing around. Shoot. Anyway. I cracked myself up. So the next thing is stop making decisions based on your emotions. Your emotions are valid. Your emotions tell you what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing, what feels good, what doesn't feel good. Absolutely. And you are most likely to act your way into feeling than to feel your way into acting. So going to the gym, right? I'm gonna feel good. I'm gonna feel great. Heck yeah, I knocked it out of the park. Or I can just sit on my couch, which is still an action, and then feel sorry for myself. Oh my God, I didn't go. I feel fat, I'm sluggish, and blah, blah, blah. So how do you want to feel? We're really withering away. And then how do you want to feel? How do you want to live this life? Building that confidence is knowing what you want, knowing what you don't want, and debunking all of your self-limiting beliefs. That's another big one. Self-limiting beliefs. I can't make the money. I can't lose the weight. I can't move across the country. I can't speak in front of the camera. Oh my God, what are people going to think? All of these limited beliefs come since we were kids. and way back when from our ancestors. So when are you going to stop? When are you going to switch that? I talked about that in self-love. It all comes down to when are you going to make the decision to switch that for yourselves? Cultural conditioning is real. We're living in a world where people are full of more self-love, of wanting to give that love, of seeing where that love can come in. Start giving it to yourself. That builds worth, that builds self-assurance, that builds self-confidence. It all boils down on what you think about yourself. That's where true confidence comes from. I lost myself everywhere in my notes. The next one is picking a mentor. Picking someone that you look up to, because they were probably as scared as you are right now when starting on something. What's something you guys want to start on? A goal, anything, or want to develop?
Race car.
Race car. Okay, you want to build a race car?
You finish it.
You want to finish a race car. Okay, is there someone in the race car community that you look up to?
Actually, I'm the guy in the race car saying true.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So maybe you're the innovator.
Okay.
You're the pioneer.
There
Right?
you go, yes.
Okay. Being the pioneer, oh, you're gonna face plant and you're gonna fail. You probably can't even do it. How does that make you feel?
Willing to move forward despite the embarrassment it could bring.
That guy's is true confidence. He knows he's gonna fail. I told him he couldn't do it. I believe you can, by the way. Okay? I believe you can. But it ends up being that people are going to tear you down and tell you you're not competent enough, you don't have enough experience. Well, how am I supposed to get the experience if you don't help me give me the experience? It's like trying to get a job. Like, you don't have the experience. Well, give me the goddamn experience. Help me out here. That's another thing. You can't do it alone. True confidence is knowing when you can, when to ask for help. Hey, you know what? I'm falling apart right now. I need help. And having that true, tiny little circle who you trust that will help you get through it. And trust is also a big factor. Sometimes people can portray as a trustworthy person when they don't have your best interest. And that's a sad thing to go through. And as we go through that slump, we will learn those lessons. And when we learn those lessons, we're going to build more confidence, true confidence within ourselves on what it is that person relayed over to us that was untrustworthy, so that we know how to trust, who to trust later on, and then keep going. So it's all cyclical. If we're down here and we're at the peak, right? Like right now, I feel pretty good about myself. I'm like, heck yeah, I'm here, I'm doing it, and then I'm probably gonna be like, crap, I could have done something else. I'm gonna go like this. But I'm not going to be here. I'm going to be on this down slope right here. So am I making sense?
Mm-hmm.
Because I built up that little confidence already. And I'm going to do it again. And it's cyclical. And it keeps going up. So I'm going to leave you guys with homework should you choose to do it. Just like last time. Give you guys like 3 little things to do. I want you to choose maybe about 3 goals from today on what you want to develop. We got the race car. No one else yelled out anything, so it's cool. I want to get lean. Like I was from 186. It's been a journey, and I weighed myself about a day ago, and I'm 130. And I was like, heck yeah, 50 pounds. But I want to get lean, right? So then from there, any of the goals can be professional, career, service, abundance or financial, health and fitness, spiritual, social, your relationships, maybe learning or growth, intellectual, your environment, or recreational. So choose 1 to 3. And then to build up your confidence, I want you to rate yourself first from 0 to 10, with 10 being the best, 0 being the lowest, and reflect on why you chose that number. So for me, right now, let's just stick to fitness because that's what I've been talking about. On my fitness, I got to a 9 and a 10 because I've lost all that weight. But now that step has now become my platform so I can reach the next ceiling. So right now I'm at a 3. I'm still squishy. I don't want to be squishy anymore. I want to be lean. So now I'm at a 3. Now what am I going to do? Why am I at a 3? Because of that reason. Now what am I going to do to raise that half a point? And I want you to ask yourself, what can you do to raise that half a point? If we go from a 3 and try to go straight to a 7, that's not really too realistic, right? Because you're like, oh my God, that's so far-fetched. How am I going to get there? So we want to break it down, what you said. Break it down into little small bite-sized pieces and see how can we start building that confidence. Pick 3 actions that you will take and commit to yourself to raise that half a point. Which of those are you committed to? For me, it's starting to eat lean. I've lost the weight, now I'm going to be eating lean. Then explore any obstacles that might happen. Because there's cheesecakes where I work at a restaurant. There are chocolate brownie cakes everywhere. There are people who are like, hey, come eat pizza. I'm like, heck yeah, I love pizza. You know, what are those obstacles? And then lastly is who are you going to choose to keep you accountable? It can be a close friend. It can be yourself. It can be a reminder on your calendar. Whatever it is, how are you going to keep yourself accountable? And if you can't keep yourself accountable, then maybe that can be one of your goals. How can you keep yourself accountable? So with that, thanks for writing down all your notes, everyone. Whatever. I want you to get up again. I did speak for a while. And I want you to put your hands on your hips again. Kind of wiggle it out. I did speak for a while. More bit. All good? Okay. Last time I couldn't do my little thingamajig, and this time I was going to put it in there. And remember, confidence grows from being able to say, I did it. So for me, stepping up in front of you today, having maybe the not too much of a confidence right now in front of you guys, helps me realize that, hey, it's all right. I'm going to face plant, I'm going to fail, etc. You guys are too. It's inevitable. And once you realize that happens, it's a weight off your shoulders. Now I want you to close your eyes and say, there's only one me. There is only one me.
There is only one me.
I transcend fears and transcend worries.
I transcend fears and I transcend worries.
I have faith in myself.
I have faith in myself.
I trust myself.
I trust myself.
I am confidence.
I am confidence.
I am confidence.
I am confidence.
I am powerful.
I am powerful.
I am capable.
I am capable.
I am in control.
I am in control.
I did it.
I did it.
I am here.
I am here.
I've gotten through all my obstacles.
I've gotten through all my obstacles.
There is only one me.
There is only one me.
I transcend fear and I transcend worries.
And I transcend worries.
My bad.
My bad.
I have faith in myself.
I have faith in myself.
I trust myself.
I trust myself.
I am confidence.
I am confidence.
Now feel these last 3. I am powerful.
I am powerful.
I am powerful.
I am powerful.
I am capable.
I am capable.
And I am in control.
I am in control.
And take a deep breath in. Let that build up. And let it all out. Give it a noise. Deep breath in again. And let it all out. One more deep breath in. Hold it up. Let it out. You guys are taking control of your own lives right there. Didn't even listen to me. That's true confidence. There you go. Good job, guys. With that, I'll leave you. And thank you.
Thank you.
I would say a good word for today is powerful.
Powerful.
It's been powerful. But I want to reiterate a couple things that Sasha said because it sank in with me, and it's taken me a long time to learn these things, to accept these things. You heard from everyone here that we may not have been confident at first. It took time, and it took internal change. A lot of internal change. And it's not just us, but as you see, we all did it. As can you. Wherever you are in your journey, wherever you are in your confidence levels, you can get to where you need to get. It is doable. Don't tell yourself that you can't, because if you tell yourself that, then it's true. Whether you believe it now or not, start telling yourself that you can so that you do believe it, whether you do right now or not. And even if you do right now, it'll sink in a whole lot deeper the more that you say it. And say it out loud so that you hear yourself. But I love that everybody has talked about a lot of imperfection today because that's humanity. That is all of us. And when we strive for perfection, we're going to fall short every time. Every single time. So the more we can embrace the imperfection that we are as people, the more we can be like, yeah, this is me. Take it or leave it, because we are imperfect. And it sounds like everybody here is a little bit on the same page of, I'm going to own that because I know that. And that is what makes us people, and that is what makes us beautiful, regardless of who you are, where you came from. I love what Sasha was talking about is nobody has your eyes, because we get told a lot that people already do what you're doing. There's so many people that practice what you practice, do what you do, talk about what you talk about. Yeah, sure, that's true. But she also mentioned that nobody has the same experience. Nobody has the same external, internal wounds, trauma. Nobody's been through what you've been through. You are your own individual. So when they tell you that everybody already does what you do, everybody has already said what you said, they talk about what you talk about, well, not in the way that you do.
Yes.
They don't do the same thing the way, that you do, because you're you and nobody is like you. Find validation within yourself so that you don't need it from anybody else, because if you're waiting for somebody else to tell you that you're amazing, you'll find those people, but when you need it the most, it may need to come from you because you've got that much confidence. You're like, no, I got this. You can tell me I can't, but you don't know what's in here. And then last but not least, I love what she said about people will always tell you what they think, how they feel about what you're doing. And if there is one thing I have learned, and I keep learning it over and over is that you can control you. You can control your reaction. You can control your thoughts. You cannot control what anybody else thinks, says, feels about you. And honest to God, it's not your business. If you cannot control that, it is not your business, because they have absolutely no idea what you've been through. They have no idea what's in your head, no idea what's in your heart, no idea how much power you have or what you're meant for. So keep that power for yourself. Don't give it away. When you can learn to do that, the confidence builds. It goes up and up. Again, not easy, but it will come and it'll get easier. I want to thank everybody for being here, whether you were in person, whether you were online and tuning in. And I hope you've had so many light bulbs. And I want you to think about how you can implement those light bulbs in taking those small steps, not big ones, because big ones get overwhelming. And let us know how you're going to implement those. Let us know what you took from today. Even if it's a lot, give us a couple. Let us know what any of us said impacted you, because it's nice to hear, and we want to know what you're thinking and how you're going to build from what we talked about. I want to know how you've been able to relate to pieces of these stories, because not everybody is going to relate to everything that everybody talked about here, whether it be one person, whether it be pieces from everybody. We're all different, and that's the beauty of this. But it's up to you to decide what happens next and how you implement it, kind of like it's always been up to all of us to decide what's next and how we implement it. But it does require action. You can make the choice to get up and put the action into place and make the difference, or you can make the choice to sit on your couch and not do anything. But the future will stem from the choices that you take to make those actions. So I encourage you to sit and reflect, have some quiet time, or whatever that looks like for you, and reflect on what you heard and what you're going to do. And maybe something today sort of related to what's going on in your life, but it maybe looks a little bit different in how you're going to implement it. And that's okay. You implement it how you need to, and you start to build. You start or you keep building. But either way, take action on how you need to take action, but just do it. Be confident in who you are. Be brave in who you are, because that's what it's all about. And then we will see you next month for True Joy.
Thank you.